Hey, hey, hey! Jeff Hartman, the Neptune Man. And today I've got some information that you may want to know if you don't want your house to be flooded. Okay, I have a client who had an F-35 error, so he had bought a kit off my F35error.com, and he had me call him and everything. And I was walking through some processes, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, my washer flooded my house." I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Well, how did it do that?" He said, "Well, you know the in the back of the machine, you've got a water line that goes to like a Y piece. And then that Y piece feeds two hoses to the washer and the dryer because his dryer has steam." And I said, "Yeah, so where did it leak at?" He said, "Well, that Y connector busted through and the water sprayed everywhere. And he had a first floor laundry." So I have one here from my machine. I'm not using my steam on my dryer right now, so I don't have a water line hooked to it. But this is what came with my washer right here. It's a Kenmore Elite HE3T. And you get the short hose right here, and that feeds into this Y, and then you hook this to your cold water supply valve, and then you have two hoses. One goes to the washer, one goes to the dryer. That way your steam can work on your dryer. Let me go ahead and advance this screen. I forgot to do that. Flooding potential, we don't want that. So what we're going to do, your rubber hoses, you probably don't do this, but they recommend every 5 years to replace these rubber hoses. And then if you've got the stainless steel ones, they'll last longer, maybe 10, 15 years. But the cold water, I found, they usually hold up pretty well, even after 10 years. But the hot water, I've actually had hoses where they like ballooned out from the heat. They start to break down internally, and they start to balloon out. And from there, it could burst out and flood. But you want to inspect these hoses. If you're not going to replace them, I would at least recommend you inspect them. But when you inspect it, you want to check for this Y piece. If you have a dryer with steam and you want to look inside and make sure the plating looks good, and just inspect, make sure there's with a flashlight, look in there, make sure there's no corrosion in there. Because what happened on his, I believe, now I asked him for a picture, and he said, well, the insurance company took it from him. And they alluded like maybe Whirlpool's having an issue with these blowing out. So I don't know exactly how old his machine is, if it's 8 years, if it's 10 years old. But what you might want to do is inspect this Y piece and make sure it looks like it's solid and intact, okay? Make sure the protective coating's on it. And that should be good. Now, you can even replace this. They sell these at the hardware store. It may not look exactly like this, but it does the same thing. Y is often a tube pass for two different hoses. But, yeah, we don't want to be flooding our houses, okay? That's not good. So, with that, that's my warning to you guys, is check that hose out real good in the Y connector. And you can even replace it if you want to be on the safe side. Every 5 years, you can replace that if you want. They're not very expensive, a few bucks, I would think. Maybe $5 at the hardware store. But it's cheap compared to a flood, okay? The other thing is on the Maytag washers. I've been doing a series on washers you don't want to buy because of that tub. Whirlpool is sealing that tub so you can't get it apart to change your bearings. And I've got clients that the machine's only 3 years old and they got to have new bearings. And it's either $700 for that whole tub assembly, or you pitch it. So there's Maytag is made by Whirlpool. So we picked on Whirlpool. I think we have 4 models now, and I've got some for the Maytags now. I'm gonna be making videos, so watch for those, and I'll let you know when those are ready. So if you see these on the side of the street, you can probably open the door up and reach in and lift up a little bit to get some play. You shouldn't have much play at all. And if you do, it's probably the bearings are shot. So if you get the washer, you pick it up off the street for free. Maybe you could part it out. Get the control board out, and the motor control board, and the motor, and then maybe the water sensor, stuff like that, and sell them on eBay or whatever. But I'm just until we figure out how to get those tubs apart, it's not a real good machine to own because you can't really fix it economically. So I'll get those videos out, and you'll see them up on my channel, and I'll put them on my blog as well, and we'll go from there. Okay, if you have any questions, or if you've had this problem with the Y busting out or looking like it's going to bust out, corrosion, let me know. Send me a picture, and I'll let other people know what to look for. Okay, I appreciate you. This is Jeff Hartman, the Neptune Man. Thanks. Bye-bye.